Living in Costa Rica and the real estate and property buying scams or the mistakes that you can prevent. That is what this video is all about. I'm going to share my own experiences and what I just learned from our realtors and what I'm learning myself about what I never thought about when buying my property and what's happening right now, 2026, with the real estate market. First of all, I'm not a realtor. My name is just Muriel. I live in Costa Rica since 2018 and I share everything that I have learned myself. Okay, so I made a short video about some warnings about buying property, talking about scams of buying property. Now, let me first lay out what is a scam and what I'm going to explain about preventing mistakes buying property. Two different things. So the real scams are that you're buying property that's really not legit to buy. Maybe you buy it without a realtor. You don't do the due diligence well. Maybe the size of the property is not accurate with the reality, or you're buying it from someone and you're paying an amount upfront, you're not using an escrow, and that money disappears and the people disappear. There is a lot of scams, but this is not what this is all about. I'm talking about the miscalculation of buying a property thinking that you can sell it anyway, and that's a big misunderstanding. So what is happening now, 2026, is that there's a big demand for properties around $150,000, $200,000. Why? This is what I've learned from my realtor, and I'm just looking around a little bit what's happening in the real estate market, and that a lot of people are moving abroad. They want to leave the USA, Canada, Europe. They're selling their stuff, building up their new life, and they have this as budget, right? The smaller properties, ready to go houses, that's it. So that's an easy market. Now, if you are looking to have more space, like for example, I have a bigger property, it's 5.5 acres, 2.5 hectares. Now, not everyone wants to pay a bigger amount because it's a bigger piece of land, right? The value is higher, but it's not necessity of a lot of people. They're not really urgently need a big property. They just want a new home. So I want you to know that if you're buying a property, you should always think ahead, like, how easy will I be able to sell it when the time comes that I don't want it anymore? Your situation can change. Your physical state can change. Maybe you need to be living closer to hospitals. Maybe something with your family happens and you want to move back or to move somewhere else, or your family shrinking, you're an empty nester, maybe the neighborhood is changing. There could be several reasons why you want to sell, but if it's a large property and there's not a big demand for large property, you won't sell. And therefore, I want to tell you ahead of time, if you're on the fence of buying a property and living in Costa Rica, talk to your lawyer, talk to your realtor, talk to your team about your wishes, about what you want, and the potential of selling it if that moment comes. Okay, so yeah, I made a lot of videos about real estate and about building and constructing, and oh, something is wrong with my light here. Always be aware that you're buying a decent piece of property, of course. So have a good realtor, have a good attorney, that they measure up the land and stuff, but also don't be impulsive with buying. Impulsiveness, it can be a big mistake, and maybe I bought my property impulsive. I want give you the example that I am in this situation that my property is for sale, but no one is buying because it's a large property and there is no demand for large properties. Now, there's a benefit. I'm not in a hurry. So the effect of being in a hurry, the time is important. So if you are in a critical situation that you really have to sell, that's where real problems exist. If you are like us, like, whatever, we have a property chosen in the mountains that we want to buy, That's large. That's even larger than this property, but that's not selling either. So we are confident that by the time that this is sold, we can buy that, because for both lands there is not really a marketplace right now. But if I knew this before, which is just speculating, I might not have bought this large property. I might not. But actually, it only counts what's happening now, right? So thinking in the past never is a solution for solving something in the future. That's a fact. I'm just here for all aspiring Costa Rica expats or expats already living in Costa Rica and who are thinking about investing in property in Costa Rica for themselves, or maybe to build on or to develop. Think ahead of time and don't let someone make you believe that you have to choose now. You have to really reconsider in different timelines. Like, what if this happens? Will this be something that is easy to rent out? Oh yeah, before you think, hey, but why don't you just rent it out? Well, renting out a large property with a lot of maintenance and with some special things, bigger properties, they have a lot of, oh, the light is working again. They have a lot of things to do. You have to check your water pipes, you have to check your water pump, you have to maintain the trees, you have to maintain the grass, you have to prevent termite explosion, and there's so much stuff. And is it rentable? So not every property is easy to rent. This is not an easy property to rent for a family. You have to be handy, you have to have a good observation for almost falling trees, sick trees. Like, there's a lot. But we chose to buy it and we love it for 8 years already. But I'm just saying, I'm here, I share everything I've learned. I'm from the Netherlands and I'm totally not the Costa Rica expat, but maybe I can help someone who is on the fence of buying a large property, and now you think like, oh, maybe I should reconsider. So that is my mission of this video, to help you create awareness, then that when you buy, you know exactly what you're doing and what the consequences could be when one day comes that you need to sell, and what your position is on the marketplace. And that's still hard because we cannot predict the future, right? So it still is speculating, but I'm just thinking out loud, sharing my experiences, sharing my thoughts. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts as well and your experiences, because we all can learn from each other. And I have a brand new expat community, Costa Rica Expat Compass, where we can hang out together, and together we know more. It is a group of locals like Costa Ricans, long-term expats, aspiring expats. I am in there. I'm the founder, and you're invited. A link in the comments and below this video. And thank you for watching my video. If you like it, thanks for the thumbs up, follow, comments, and share it with others if you think they can benefit. See you in the next one.